Good day, classmates and Professor Sanchez. My name is Jerry Osiris, and I'm ecstatic to share my group research project on performance management with you. So, do you recall a time when customer service seemed so easy to receive and just so simple to give back? Yeah, all that was required of you was just a few things, which included a great smile, you greeting, and providing the information that the individual specifically asked for, and that was it. Well, those days are gone. The employees are expected to go above and beyond for their patrons by thinking of inquiries they will need for the future, not just the specific details that they call for or ask you for. Future inquiries that they may need, and for you to educate them on those services that they may not even be aware that they have. The best part has not even started yet. And you or the employee has to also meet internal performance expectations that is needed while servicing the customer at the same time. So, perfect time for my introduction. Performance management is a critical tool in managing call center employees in the healthcare industry. Furthermore, performance management tool helps keep the call center employees engaged by knowing their expectations and being productive. Operative performance management is a continuous series of activities designed to align and improve individual performance to drive organizational outcomes. Valentine, Mathis, Jackson, and Meglick, 2020. The literature reviews on United Health Group. So, company overview, it's a Fortune 500 company. The mission is to help people live healthier lives. Integrity, compassion, relationships, innovation, and performance are the values of the company. They offer products and services through two diverse platforms, United Healthcare and Optum, and they employ over 325,000 employees onshore and also offshore domestically as well. And this student researcher is an employee of this company for 14 years. So I want to dive into the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis aids managers to formulate a strategic plan that considers the organization's aptitude to deal with the situation at hand based on its own strengths, weaknesses, as well as opportunities and threats that exist in the firm's external environment. At this moment, the CEO is Dave Wishman. The company serves over 75 million individuals through 754,000 healthcare professionals and 54 hospitals and 61,000 pharmacies. Recently, the company donated $5 million to support the national program to develop convalescent plasma treatments for COVID-19, and also collaborate with a few groups which they deployed 3,000 emergency ventilators, alternate devices. Selection plans include HMOs, PPO, POS, point of service, Medicare, Medicaid, supplement plans and visions, dental options, IT, financial services, pharmacy benefits, and more. And back to the SWOT analysis. So, predicting costs for UHG has history been correctly done, and also controlling costs per the low medical cost ratio, which allows for less impulsive cash flows and low capital costs. Matter of fact, one particular time they purchased XL Health, which sells Medicare Advantage plans. And moderation and improving healthcare usage via mobile technology, they were able to do so. And non-clinic, I believe, was one of the newest healthcare models from Optum Health, another segment within United Health Group, that allows patients and doctors to chat in real time or video conference for another option. And Optum RX, who conducts the prescriptions for the members for United Health Group, they implemented a new mobile application that reminds people to take their medications when it's time to refill, or if they need to transfer prescriptions from an actual local pharmacy to have it mailed for them. In regards to the weakness, the company has competitors such as WellPoint, Kaiser Permanente, Humana, Cigna, Aetna, and as the largest U.S. provider of healthcare, United Health Group commands only about 16.5% of the market share. Compared to other industries, this amount is kind of shockingly low. And another weakness will be Medicare changes for CMS, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid. They reassigned approximately about 470,000 auto-assigned low-income beneficiaries from United Health Group Medicare Part D, those with prescription program, to other possible competitors. Uncertainty. The healthcare is always changing, as we know, and can be seen as a gift and a curse at times. And the uncertainty of operating costs, depending on effectively estimating the price for and management of medical costs. And also uncertainty of the PPCA, because one outcome health insurers are hoping to avoid is adverse selection. Though United Health Group does not think this will happen, if uninsured are indeed less sick, United Health Group will be suffering risk costs. Part of the PPACA includes regulations of premium, which United Health Group will not be able to increase premiums as high as it would need to cover in case adverse selection does take place. With the aging population, Medicare and AARP represent both an opportunity and a threat. And if AARP would take their services elsewhere, a huge portion of its Medicare business will be lost by United Health Group. In the healthcare reform legislation, and it shows that they committed to about $940 billion over the 10 years to expand the coverage to 32 million out of the 54 million uninsured Americans. This would be offset by 438 billion new taxes and more than 500 billion spending reductions, largely in the Medicare program. Strategic recommendations for United Health Group. To employ, if a Supreme Court passes the PPACA, the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act in June, it's outside of the healthcare reform legislation. Look at other strategies for United Health Group, such as innovation, modernizations, and acquisition to distinguish itself from competitors. Present an acquisition candidate, for instance, the American National Insurance Company, ANAT, and then pays about 68% of premiums in claims. Hosted, Levin, and Shanholt, 2012. The American National Insurance Company is a publicly traded comprehensive insurance provider. The company is structured into 5 segments: life and annuity, health, property and casualty, and corporate and other. The health segment is focused on primarily Medicare supplement, medical expense, and group insurance plans. The author suggests that United Health Group is in a position to acquire Aetna's health insurance business cheaply and improve its operations significantly. So that's one of the suggestions that they recommended. And the concluding notes on the literature review on the United Health Group SWOT analysis. If United Health Group can continue to grow and innovate, it will not be unsuccessful. United Health Group has a history and displays a successful company and must endeavor to an expert in all aspects of the industry. United Health Group is currently working to connect with different medical carriers together through technology, which this innovation strategy will serve them well in the future. Halstead, Living, and Sanho 2012. Optum is one of the segments with United Health Group that this student researcher works for directly as a supervisor the last 14 years. And within my team, the intake team, we handle incoming calls for behavioral health services, inquiries. Those can include mental health, substance abuse, matter for benefits, organizations, referrals to see a therapist, or a consumer can call on to get a claim status. We can also send out compassion cards where we send specific letters, like a note card, a letter to our members that we kind of assist with on a daily basis, so that can lift up their spirit and encourage them. And also we can send out an explanation of benefits, EOBs. Those are members once the claim is processed, paid or denied, kind of gives them the breakdown on what occurred with their claim. And PRAs, providers and maintenance advice, those are sent out to our providers as well to see how the claim paid or how it denied. Performance management collaboration. So we also work with workforce department, those on a daily basis and also weekly for to kind of forecast calls and also see how things are going, such as to project to leaders and management, such as the student researcher, on what to expect on the service levels in the next few weeks, such as trainings, team meetings, coaching sessions with staff. As you can see, this was last week, May 11th, and this upcoming week, May 18th. So I have a team meeting with my team on May 20th, 2 sessions. I have a team of 17 direct reports, one at 9:30 and then one at 1:30 that day. So this is an opportunity where we can provide details to our team, speak about new accounts, new products, things of that nature. So we can't just pull a team of 10 to 15 people off the phones. That would significantly impact our service levels. Performance management and calibration continued. In addition, our workforce department ensures our service levels, average speed of answers, transfer rates on how we did that previous day, current month, and also current quarter for dedicated accounts and also consumers that we serve. And the screenshot below shows a particular last week on May 13th, we had our daily meeting call with them, and they kind of showed us how our providers department is doing. We're servicing them pretty well. For the month we're not meeting in the red means we need to improve. Consumers, we have a support provider live and work well online website. We have a provider service line and those other dedicated accounts below. Performance management for individual staff. Employees that work for the company can consist of trained professionals or licensed claims agents, physicians, clinicians such as nurses, doctors, therapists, and facilities as well. This can be for incoming or outbound calls to our chat online function. Net Promoters score surveys can proceed whenever that task is done helping the consumer, where the caller can leave feedback once those services are rendered. Net Promoter Score. The Net Promoter Score was created by Fred Richlet in 2003. It pretty much is a survey, consists of 3 questions, but one particular question is usually asked after a call after service. How likely is it you to recommend our company to a friend or a colleague? So they can rate from 0, being not all likely, to all the way up to 10. And 0 to 6 are detractor scores, 7 to 8 are passive scores, and 9 to 10 are promoter scores. So the 0 to 6 are, again, the customers probably will be unlikely or unhappy. 7 and 8, they're okay. The 9s and 10s, they're the one that will go tell a friend and family how great your services are. And the Net Promoter Score continued. Currently for this student researcher department, when it comes to answering claim inquiries, we're currently at a 63.3% for our Net Promoter Score. And you can see it shows a chart from January, February, March, and April, and the current month of May. So March, a couple months ago, was the highest so far for this year for our team. Ways to improve performance management. This can be done with employee engagement and management effectiveness, employee surveys, and focus groups, where you can pull employees between 5 or 7, try to keep it the minimum, where you can be able to get details and ask questions. That way, staff might not be scared to answer questions, give input, and be able to assist and provide that improvement. Active listening skills, correct action plan, and if the staff is not doing well and feedback is given, tips is given, and still nothing is working, that may be the last course of action, and that can possibly have that particular employee or employees turn it around. Training and development, shadowing and seasoned staff that's doing well. If a particular employee is not doing so well, that can be able to give them some input and help them out. To resources, kind of showing them where to use and how to go about finding resources. Multitasking, typing and talking on the phone in case average handling time is a goal that your department has to reach or meet. And motivation, of course, that always helps. Your superior and your management team is encouraging your employees. They'll be able to have them take it up a step or higher. And having the right equipment that's working in technology, that also helps out. And Johnson and Hackman in 2018 alluded, as moral managers, they promote ethical conduct and followers by modeling desired behavior, leading the way, putting equitable policies in place, and reinforcing moral behavior through rewards and punishment. Ethical performance becomes part of the evaluation and promotion decisions, for instance. Another option to help an employee to better manage their calls and be able to meet their adherence goal is to allow the staff to have an on-the-job shadowing session or 2. It can be 30 minutes to an hour, so they can be able to pick up tips from that particular seasoned subject matter expert, where the individual can learn from a seasoned employee staff who's exceeding 2017. Ways to improve performance management continued. Behavior-based model, leaders to lead the way and be ethical so they do not impact others. Sabir, Iqbal, Raymond, Shah, and Yamin in 2012. Servant leadership is an enigma, both for service and also to influence, where direct reports are placed first by the servants. So looking to service that particular employee or team of yours, and no matter how you get it done, to be able to serve them so they can be encouraged. Path goal theory to be directive, supportive, participant, and achievement leadership. The employee would have to get a guide to the system to retrieve information in a timely manner. Northhouse 2019. Personality traits are essential for successful leadership, and those highlighted as the most pertinent include energy levels, stress tolerance, self-tolerance, confidence, and internal control orientation, and the most maturity and integrity. UCall 2001. Knowledge-based systems. They provide information on a topic or topics that the customer is seeking, where employees can be able to research and find information to be able to assist them and get that information to the caller in real time while they have the consumer on the line. It allows the employee to multitask while having the caller waiting. It can alleviate impatience and reduce possible stress. Training where an employee can log on and be able to take a 10-minute, 20-minute, or 30-minute, or even up to a 1-hour course online. And without having a trainer, they'll be the facilitator. Performance management drivers. Consumers are service where staff provide a good to exemplary customer service. Employees know where they stand. It can be a first call resolutions where the consumers don't have to call back because the initial rep forgot to get the information to a particular person. QVCs is an incentive for reward programs that we have currently at United Health Group. That can be another driver to help performance management. Career, job stability, and job advancement can definitely boost up an employee and staff morale and encourage them to do even better and sustain that as well. Having flexible work hours where the person can probably work part-time or have a 4-day, 10-hour shift and maybe want that extra day in a week to be able to relax or go to doctor appointments, things of that nature. So, every one of us is a consumer. We know quality when we see it. And we know bad service when we see that it's rendered. As patrons, we expect and deserve flawless service. The people we serve and expect and deserve the same. Let us ensure we give that to them. United Health Group believes strongly in reward them for performance. Because of this, we want to reward our employees when they deliver outstanding service. The idea of pay performance is nothing new. The idea for pay performance is nothing new, but the way we drive our world-class experience for those we serve is what sets us apart. If a staff or employee meets and exceeds at least one of their key performance indicators, and not only a correct action plan and meets the rest, and not only needs improvement for the annual review, and they will receive a monthly incentive payout on their check. So here we have an example. If a staff has 3 or more categories where they're exceeding with a rating of 5, they will get a $400 payout monthly. And if the agent gets 3 categories of 4, they'll get $200 a monthly. And if the agent gets a 2 or more that meets the 3, they will get $100. So on the side here, we have an example from January to March. So let's say this particular agent had a quality rating of 1, 2 for ACW, that's after call work, adherence, 3 rating, and then for our Net Promoter score, the survey, they have 3 rating. This person was not a needs improvement on a correct action plan, and they worked 149 hours for the month of January, and they were awarded $100. And so for February, the person did even better. It was more consistent, and due to that, they were rewarded $200. And March, this particular person, blew it out of the water, exceeded, and they were rewarded $400 for their hard work. Performance management disadvantages. Employees won't at all be eligible for incentives and rewards, as I mentioned before. In case they're on a correct action plan, they're not doing well, they won't get any payouts such as that. Call centers mostly receive inbound and very few outbound calls, which can negatively impact employees' well-being. Tweety, Wild, Rhodes, and Martin Binney, 2019. Call avoidance can occur as well. That's when staff receive a call, employee receive a call, and they decide to just manually release the call, or they can decide to not answer the call at all, play like they're not there, and wait till the customer on the other end decides to just give up after waiting maybe a short amount of time or an extended time and just hang up the phone. System issues as well. If the staff don't have the application or it's down, that can impact their performance if they're not calling IT, the help desk. So on the third stage, the office focused specifically on recognition theory exploration on how inadequate acknowledgement of workers' contribution can significantly affect their well-being at the level of self-conception. For instance, if the student researcher had an employee who did great work, and as a direct superior, and never patted this employee on the back, but do so for others, this can impact that subordinate level of self-conception, where he or she will doubt themselves and believe that they're not good enough or just a horrible employee, think they're doing something wrong. Performance management disadvantages. Continued rotating schedule where breaks and lunch can be different on a daily basis. And vacation, paid time off is limited amongst peers for the vacation time per day because there's only a limited amount. If you have 50 or 100 employees working, the vacation hours has to be distributed evenly so service levels are not impacted and how much staff can be off at one particular time. For instance, the staff below here, schedule can reflect one day a break and lunch totally different, and then the following day it can have a break or lunch log out totally different from the previous or the day before that. So this person here has a shift from 8 to 4:30. So from 8 to 8:05, the person has 5 minutes to bring up their system and get ready to be in the queue and to take calls and assist the consumers. And the first break is at 9:35 to 9:50, a 15-minute break, and they get a 30-minute lunch. And then the lunch is set at 12 o'clock, and second break is at 2:35 to 2:50. And once the staff comes back from the second break, they have from 2:50 to 4:30 to be in the queue waiting on the call, assisting callers. So again, some staff are not used to that. Some staff can't manage the call to be able to go to their breaks and lunch on time. And unfortunately, if they are helping the callers still and they get stuck on a call, that negatively impacts them where they're not meeting their adherence goal. Performance management disadvantages continued. Also burnout, turnover ratio. Obtaining and assessing data about employee turnover ratio are becoming the norm due to data analytics and data environment. Downtown ET in all 2020. The national clinician turnover rate varies based on setting. However, American Group Association estimated the turnover ratio at 6.8% for physicians and 11.5% for advanced practice clinicians. Willard Grace ET all 2019 from pages 6 and 7. How to reduce employee burnout and turnover. Situation leader does engage and match his direct reports development level of the group they are facilitating. This can have positive effects. The author shares how the leader first has to assess where his or her followers are and if they have the mental capacity and the drive to perform that or those tasks. Effective leaders are not only identify what is needed by the staff, but know when to switch up their style for the benefit of their employee needs. Northhouse 2019. Fully engaged staff are physically inspired, emotionally connected, mentally locked in, and to be aligned to the company's purpose. Thus, employee engagement is a required dynamic to enhance employee loyalty, employee performance, which decreases employee turnover. Bashir, Hamid, Rashid, and Nadim, 2019. Management by objective business goals, the student supervisor. This year, for the behavioral health department and provider service representative of another department, these are the goals for our particular employees. United Experience surveys, those are Net Promoter surveys. Those were for 25%. Their quality scores is also 25%. Attendance is 20%. Adherence is 20%. And their phone matrix is 10%. So here's the 3s, 4s, and 5s meet and exceeding. So if anyone falls in the line of the 2 or 1 rating, they need improvement or are really struggling there. So whether it's a phone quality or the quality audits that they get 5 a month, and they have to meet at least 94% or above. And then for the Net Promoter scores, the staff have to meet an average of 75% or higher. Adherence is 94%. After call work, placing themselves where they're finishing wrapping up a note on call, they don't get another call that comes in their queue. And after call work, again, the color has to be a 3, a light green for them to meet. Again, the knowledge-based system will cover in a big that they use for the performance. They'll be able to tell them where they stand. And then attendance, any unplanned occurrence that's not added, estimated in the system in advance, that would be considered an occurrence. So the staff gets between 4 to 5.5 occurrences. There'll be needs improvement. There'll be a 2 rating. And then the staff that has 6 or more in less than a calendar year, they'll have a really needs improvement. And here are some of the value-based competencies. As I shared earlier, the values for our company, for United Health Group, is integrity, compassion, act actively, focus on customers, relationship acts as a team player, collaborate with others, demonstrate diversity awareness, learn and develop, relationships, communicate effectively, speak and write clearly, listen actively, influence others, innovation, support change and innovation, work effectively in a changing environment, and contribute with innovative ideas. So not just the leaders and management, but anyone can have a creative idea. It's just about raising your hand and sharing it. Performance, making effective decisions, using sound judgment, applying business knowledge, again, using the knowledge-based tool. Performance, delivering quality results, drive for results, manage time effectively, produce high-quality work. So those are the management by objective for the current 2020 year for United Health Group employees in the behavioral health intake department and also provider service line. Performance-based system, My Matrix tool, this is where the staff can be able to go in to see their key performance matrix and see how they're doing, such as the after-call work that we spoke about a slide ago, the quality scores, the average handling time, how long they spend on the call, hold time, their attendance, how much they have. All those things are right at their disposal that they can see, and they don't have to wait for. They're routinely, monthly, once a week, or every 2 weeks, depends on the queue, to meet with their superior to know where they stand, because they will know by being proactive and giving the employee empowerment where they can see that themselves. So the key performance indicator, again, it tells them where they stand and how much more they have to go, if they need to prove their meeting, and if they're exceeding. So this can apply to current day, past as well. Clarifies the organization expectations, the performance-based system. You can also document performance of the employee records. So when you do meet for team meetings or one-on-ones. Both can be able to add information, not just the superior, but also the direct report. It gives performance feedback to workers. Valentine, ETL 2020. Performance-based system continued. Team performance with the tier goals to the far right. You'll see in the next slide. Means yellow means the improvement, and red means the employee really needs help. Employees should learn how to balance servicing the customers efficiently, and at the same time learn how to meet and exceed their performance goals. Clark, Tan, Murphy, Rogers, and Ang, 2019. And here's the slide. Like I said, red is not too good. These are the tier goals. Anyone that's with a level 1, value 1, means they're really struggling in that particular area. So the quality goals, the net promoter goals here, and then the average handling time. Like I said, we don't count that against our staff. There's a matrix that senior leadership, management, and also workforce that takes a look at it to make sure that we're servicing and answering calls in a timely fashion. After call work and adherence, the 250-minute break and 30 minutes to go to their time breaks and lunch in a timely manner. And then value of 2 means they're on the cusp of meeting, 3 is meeting, 4 is succeeding, and then they get a map 5, a purple color. And then they make sure that means they're exceeding, doing very well. Performance-based of individual continued part-time individual performance for employees. My staff, Sheena, for this year, it's a screenshot below here, how she's doing for KPIs, key performance indicators, such as quality, and net promoter scores, after call work, and adherence to her schedule. And as I mentioned, average hand time is not a matrix that we hold our staff against individually. So Sheena is exceeding for the year for 2020, with a quality score at 98.90% at a MAP 4 rate. And then for her UES Net Promoter Survey score, she's at 92.90%, even better at a MAP 5 tier. Then her average handling time, even though it takes a little bit longer to wrap up a call, she's giving great quality service to her consumers over the phone. Again, it doesn't count against our staff, so why rush and maybe mess up and get the wrong information, and that impacts your quality score. And then for her after call work, again, that's putting yourself in a state where calls doesn't come in. She's averaging 20.62 per seconds when she does use it, or less. And that's at a MAP 4 tier as well. And adherence to log on status, again, the breaks that fluctuate on a daily basis, and also the lunch. Since she's a part-time staff, she gets a 250-minute break a day only, and she works Monday to Friday with short hours versus a full-time staff, which we'll see in a second. Performance-based system continued. Part-time staff A was Sheena that you just saw for 2020 performance versus another part-time staff, employee B. This particular staff needs more improvement, struggling to meet consistently with the expectations that's needed. While as you can see, she's at 93.10%, which is on the cusp 92%, the goal is 94%. And then for her Net Promoters UES surveys that she receives, she's at 83.44%. That's a MAP 3 value, which is meeting. And ACX, we'll skip that. And her after call work, she's at 52 seconds, 0.78 out of the goal of 45 seconds. And she's on the cusp right around the corner. And then for her adherence to log on schedule for her breaks and lunch, she does get 2 breaks and a 30-minute lunch, just that she works Monday to Friday. She has Thursday and Friday off. So as you see, she needs a little bit more work to be able to pick up the notch compared to one of her peers who's also a part-time staff. And both staff are seasoned staff that's been with the company, and the student supervisor has managed both individuals for a while. The limitation of studies, this would fall within scope of a call center environment which has a boss to direct report hierarchy to address and provide how to spur subordinates to meet or exceed their performance management and appraisal, including routine coaching that an employee should have. For example, more than how an individual is doing and what they are not doing so well. So to make it more than that. What suggestion would you make for employee engagement? This student supervisor in 2019, employees took a survey and had an employee engagement rating of 86%, and the previous year compared to the rating was 60.3%. Reasons why it was increased by 26 points. Incentive programs can be used to motivate and improve and sustain performance, as I shared earlier, grades 2015. Staff involvement within their work and life balance, such as giving them time off in case they were out of vacation hours, allowing them to get the time off unpaid in case they needed to go to the doctor, and in case they just wanted to spend time with family at home, whatever it may be, just trying to meet the particular staff halfway. Full-time telecommuters have success working remotely, Norback, Espinosa, 2019. Innovation, consistent interaction face-to-face or webcam. If employees working remotely, to be able to have that same connection that you would in the office with a particular employee, using technology such as instant message, email, write-backs, all those things to allow your staff to have so they're able to do their tasks, daily tasks easy and help out the various patrons that they assist over the phone. Career development, community service work. A few photos we'll be able to see in the come-up slide are of UAG employees, and including this student researcher with 3 of my direct reports. What suggestions would you make? Employee engagement continue. Employee recognition. Yearly opt-in day at United Health Group is conducted by management, where we plan and execute activities to encourage employees while they're working during their shift. Bravo is a particular internal system that we can be able to send kudos, recognition, to say thank you for our colleagues, not just our frontline staff, but peer-to-peer, our senior leadership. Anyone can be able to submit and encourage another employee for a job well done. Living Our Values Award, that's an award that recognizes outstanding actions of employees who have made a significant and lasting impact by living one or more of our values, such as shared earlier, integrity, compassion, relationships, innovation, and performance. Opt-in Hero just happens once a year, where they select about between 200 staff that's been very exemplary, where they've gone above and on, not just in their performance, but helping out peers, helping out patrons over the phone who's left great feedback, where senior leadership, VPs, the CEOs would fly these selected staff. Where it's 1 year, this student researcher was selected back in 2011, Optimus Superhero, and I was nominated for this past 2019. So 1 year was California, another year they send them to Disney World, where they get a 2.5 days where they're pretty much tailored and champagne, where they're able to meet other superheroes, to connect, network, meet other leaders maybe they might not have met before, maybe on WebEx to hear them, but to be able to see them and get feedback. That's a very valuable experience. And then lastly, United Healthcare Service Heroes. They recognize that United Healthcare individuals will make a positive difference in the lives of our members, providers, and customers. community service, volunteer event of UHG employees. On this left side was in Houston, Texas, on the Urban Forum, and on the right-hand side, UHG employees who was able to volunteer at a 2016 Senior Leader Forum Social Responsibility event at the Courage of Kenny Foundation. So that's a way that, again, staff can have a little break off from work, and usually, again, we allow staff up to 4 hours on the clock to be able to do community service. That's possible, pending that they're not behind on work, or if they're in the queue that the business need can be able to take that hit. If so, then the supervisor will work with workforce to get our staff time off where they can go serve in the community, which is vital. And staff love doing. That's one of the benefits of working with the company. And community service continued. Here again, this student supervisor here on the left, these are my 3 employees, and this was the supervisor when we had an opportunity to go to elementary in October of last year, 2019, and we were able to service the students there, show them how to recycle. We were able to have a conversation, and more so, we were able to have memories when we were in elementary school. Linden, E.T., all in 2008. What suggestions would you make? A screenshot of the 2019 employee engagement of this student supervisor feedback service was given to my employees. I had 16 staff and 15 were able to complete it. That's why overall these questions consisted of considering everything. How would you rate your overall satisfaction in the company at the present time? Overall, the company's effectively manage a well-run business, and so forth. After all those questions was answered, I had an average of 86%, and the entire company for United Health Group had a 79.2%, and the Optum division that I work in is 79.4%, and the department that I'm part of, that the student researcher is a part of, was 69.4%. And then last year in 2018, the student manager had an average of 60.3% for his employee engagement. What suggestion would you make in 2019 Manager Effectiveness Index? This student manager had a 97% score and increased his score by 7 points from the previous year. We contributed to improvement, creating short clips, Rajabe, ETL in 2014, emailing, mailing, and providing virtual kudos to my team, conducting and assisting with career development in case they want to be a particular career aspiration of theirs, connecting them and networking with other peers or supervisors I might know. They can shadow with that particular staff and assist them with tuition reimbursement, giving constructive feedback regarding their performance, train the trainer in return. The leader will train his direct reports virtually, No 2017. Firms have noticed that when surveys results dip in employee satisfaction, 3 months later, they also decline in customer loyalty and repeat customer sales. Valentine, ET, all 2019. The manager effectiveness here again, 15 out of 16, consists of these certain comments and questions. My manager does an effective job of leveraging the various talents and perspective. My manager communicates the information that I need to do my job, and so forth. So 97% was my rating, and the company as overall was 82.5%. Optum had an 83.7%, and my Pacific department had an 83.4%. In the previous year on my end, I had the student researcher had a score of 90%. And here is just that testimony that the 15 out of 16 staff had to say how well they felt that they were getting help regarding their work experience. So it's a questionnaire and survey is widely used, a method of obtaining job data because of the ease of use and convenience, which is given to employees and managers to complete. Valentine et al. 2019. And certain testimonies were opportunity, communication balance, work, given the work at home, team, constant growth, company, available, awesome, manager, call, focus, email, and effort. What suggestions would you make 2020 survey? Continued. Last year in 2019, United Health Group started a new phase to send multiple surveys or more throughout the year versus the past traditionally they would send it once a year that have conducted in years past. For 2020, this upcoming survey will be the third or fourth that the company has had. The two other ones were only given to certain employees, but this one coming up starting on May 19 and June 4th will be given to employees and providers that we service to give feedback on surveys. What methodology will you use? Challenge managers to think outside of the box. Challenge staff to provide ways how they can improve versus leadership doing so for them or all the time or most of the times. So that way they can be able to have ownership and be more empowered, and the delegation can be on them, and they can be able to do more of the work and put more of an effort. Don't believe in the other person, but take ownership. Anthony, 2007. Seek how automation can assist my staff and my organization on another level. Increase employee engagement. Try to find more ways. Speak directly to my staff to find out inquiries, because people change, and what the student manager might have done 3-6 months ago, and especially last year, might not be the need that my particular team or staff members need at this moment. Look to increase benefits such as medical, employee assistance program, employee discounts, tuition reimbursement for future career aspirants to apply, more teamwork, increase in employee recognition. Larson and Lafaso, 1989, suggested leaders can develop the efficiency of the team by keeping them focused on its goal, on maintaining collective climate, building confidence among members, demonstrating ethical aptitude, setting priorities, and managing performance. Northhouse, 2019. Workforce recommendations continue. Provide alternate options on how to conduct their daily tasks successfully and how they can go about to sustain such productivity. Challenge staff to provide ways how they will be able to improve versus leadership doing it themselves. Implement and sustain employee incentive program. Who does not love 2-for-1, right? For instance, CVS incentivized their employees to stop smoking. CVS saw a win-win situation where healthy employees equal increased performance. Lower costs and health risks called 700 Good Reasons. Professional Safety, August 2015. Employers need to be alert of employees' retention and job satisfaction of staff in regards to their career development. Adnan Batul, Shiraz, 2019. Allow staff to volunteer during work hours. This, too, will keep your employees engaged outside of them serving their community, which they love. And tuition reimbursement programs. Workforce recommendations continue. Get to know and spend time with your employees. Show appreciation of your staff and not just those who meet and exceed consistently. Full-time telecommuters, to have them to enable their webcam, to have a better rapport with them, just like they would be in the office face-to-face with you. The perks of telecommuting are high performance, and they did not find a drawback no matter the level of the employee. Golden Graduan, 2018. Improve the work-life balance as an organization. If you don't allow your staff to work at home, start maybe by allowing them to work 3 to 5 employees at a time, to work once a week or once every 2 weeks. Other employees will want the same. Therefore, This will increase their performance as well. Farmer 2005. Seek to open or expand business globally because client and the customer benefits. Dudapa and Asara 2011. And another thing as well, possibly outside of having potlucks, which is great, you know, walking up to your staff to have a little chit chat, ask them what they did over the weekend, or maybe share with them what you did with your family or what you were able to do. And another thing as well, in case you heard from another peer or team member that a particular employee their daughter had a ballet recital over the weekend, that can be a good way to spark a conversation. So little things like these seems like it's nonchalant, but they go a long way. And outside of holidays, maybe give your staff a token of appreciation, even if it's just a card. You know, outside of the Thanksgiving, Christmas, the once or twice a year, it can be a shout out, telling them how proud you are doing a team meeting in front of the peers. That can be something simple, just verbally sharing. For example, Sheena, I'm proud of you how you've really decreased your after call work by 10 seconds. Maybe if it's 2 seconds, that's 2 seconds less that they've improved. Workforce recommendations, community service, using assessment tests, testing out certain applications, automation technology to do what's right. Technology to the right here is one that is called desktop application that the student manager and his employees use. And unfortunately, I was trying to give a live demo, but it wouldn't allow me to attach it due to, I believe, protected health information, PHI. So according to Valentine et al. 2019, automation tools enable hiring managers to quickly work through a large number of resumes with keyword assessments to more effectively evaluate candidates' qualifications and suitability. One example are when applicants internally or external apply for requisitions, rather it's a lateral or promotional opportunity. The automation tool reviews and sifts through the majority of the resumes versus the actual recruiting team having to manually pull the resumes on one, especially if it's to fill in a position to a 1 or 2 and you have 500 candidates or 700 candidates apply. So which can be a blessing or it can be a curse, depending on how you look at it. And part of the desktop assistant automation tool, once you click on the particular application, it will bring up, you set your credentials every 3 months. So it has the phone system, VCC, that our staff use, and this student supervisor as well, in case I have to take an escalator call or speak to one of my staff, and you want to speak to me, because again, we all work virtually. And IQ is a application that we pull up the members' information. The IX is where staff is able to log on to see their daily schedules, their breaks and lunch, and in case they wanted to take time off if they have a vacation or a doctor appointment or whatever it is, they would submit their time in advance. And KickCon is our knowledge-based system where you can type in and look at standard operating procedure and things of that nature. Final thoughts. According to Norcross 2019, to assess team effectiveness, team leaders need to use whatever tools at their disposal, such as direct observation, surveys, feedback, and performance indicators. According to Johnson and Hackman 2018, stated teams of all sorts are more likely to flourish if they receive expert coaching. Coaching refers to directly involvement of interactions with a team intended to help improve its joint performance. There's no right way of leadership, and if leaders take an approach of doing whatever it takes for their employees and are proactive and consistent, their direct report will see this and follow their lead. This applies for individual and team performance. Just how technology is vital in our society and our workforce, let's not forget that relationships are equivalent, or some may say just as important. Converse and spend time with your staff, because their needs can change, as I shared before, and you can be able to support them, which they can take their performance to the next level or two if need be. Followers play a central role of a leadership process. Currently, authors view leadership as a shared process where leaders and followers are mutually dependent. Northhouse 2019. Organizations should not rest on past success because other competitors are seeking to knock them off the pedestal. Also, take talented employees off yours to be able to help their cause while doing so. Thank you. That's the end of my group research project, and the last 3 pages are my references.